Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to dwell on the modern format, and with the release of the Modern Horizons 3 set, we're going to check on some new deck tech archetypes, and one of which was submitted to the MTG Goldfish website, and maybe has given also some good results in the recent modern tournaments done online and even in physical uh, Magic the Gathering tournaments. So we're going to check this one. Yes, we call this one as the Boros Energy. So this is from the MTG online result, piloted by username Sir Snow. So this archetype, as someone introduced the return of energy uh, strategy in the MH3 set, in which it had a lot of card support, and somehow has made its way to become a contender under the aggro category in the format. So let's check on the lineup here. We have 24 creatures, 2 artifacts, and 5 enchantment, 8 instants, and 21 lands in the main deck. And it was also coupled with 15 card sideboard, which is going to run down again in a bit. So this deck uses the companion Giganta the Wellspring. It's somewhat similar to that card also used in the Boros in the Pioneer format. But this one, let's check on the lineup of the creatures. Starting off with the new card, Guide of Souls, which is from the MH3 set, in which it has the ability that whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you will gain 1 life and get an energy counter. So whenever you attack, you may pay 3 energy, and if you do, put 2 +1 counters and a flying counter on attacking creature, and it becomes an angel in addition to its other types. So in a way, it's also a good 1-drop. It can protect itself because of the 2 toughness, but it also gets you a good synergy as a Soul Warden effect with gaining life, as well as having also to add energy to your setup. Now the other 1-drop here, which is still a staple in the modern format, are your 4 copies of Bragavan. So anyway, this can just go into attacking, and when it deals combat damage, it can create a treasure token, and then it gets to exile the top card of your opponent's library, and you can play that card until the end of turn. But the important thing is that it can, in a way, ramp you with your treasure token. You can set up all your other spells in this deck, or maybe even having a turn to Fable Dimir Breaker, for example. And of course, having this card advantage would also get you to have a good damage settler, and also gets you a board and mana advantage. Now for the 2-drops in this deck, we have the new Ajani Flipwalker, which is Ajani Nakatal Pariah. It is a 2+1/2 that when it enters the battlefield, it will create a 2/1 white cat wired creature token, and whenever 1 or more cats you control dies, you may exile it and return it back as a planeswalker, with a lot of these abilities that you can generate board advantage. So that is 3 copies in the deck. And for the other 2-drop in the build, we have 4 copies of Ampraptor. This is another way to generate energy, and it is also a 2/1 first strike. So whenever the cast this card from your hand, exile cards from the top of the river until you exile an unknown card, and you may cast that card by paying an amount of energy equal to its mana value rather than paying for its mana cost. So in a way, it can cast off a 1-drop or a 2-drop depending on the default energy that you can produce. But even if you have already curved out early on with energy already in stock, you can just cast already 3 or more depending on what you need. But the first good thing is that it can generate this good card advantage in your 2-drop value. And also we have 4 copies of Felia. This is the Exuberant Shepherd. It gets now the value of having a 2/2 flash creature, which can also get you to exile up to 1 other target non-permanent, and then your next end step, return that card to the battlefield under Zero's control, and if it's still under your control, you put a counter on Felia, so it becomes a 3/3 in that instance. So in a way, you can bounce off. The good target here would be a Ajani, since it will produce again a 2/1 white warrior creature token. You can bounce off also creatures such as this one with the Flage Titan of Fire's Fury. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, deals 3 damage to the target and will gain 3 life. As it enters the battlefield, you can have it also to blink and return it at the next end step, and also have this ETB effect happen again. So in that way, you can have a good lot of shenanigans in the deck, depending on certain situations where you will just optimize your play and do board advantage. Now for the other 3-drop here, which is considered as a 2-drop per se because of the stomp effect, is your Bone Crusher Giant. That's 2 copies. You can also have a 4-3 body, which can get you additional damage to your opponent if it becomes the target of a spell. And then also Flage would become also a good way to fill the 3-drop, because it will enter as a 6/6, but it will be sacrificed. But the good thing is that you can have this one do a lightning helix effect by dealing 3 damage to any target, and you will gain 3 life. At the same time, later on, you can have this escape for 4 mana. That's 2 red and 2 white. Exile other 5 cards in your graveyard, and then you can cast it for its escape cost. So that is your lineup for your creatures. We have now to check here the artifacts, which we have the Unstable Amulet. It also gets you to have a energy counter, and also a good target for that of Pelia. This generation of a energy card, it gets you also that whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, it can deal 1 damage to its opponent, and you can also pay this energy to exile the top card with your library, and then you may play it until you exile another card with Unstable Amulet. So another way of gaining new card advantage. And for your enchantments, of course, Playable Dreambreaker is your best 3-drop here, as it gets you to create a token for the Shaman that can create also treasure tokens when it attacks. You can also filter out your hand and then become a copy of the Reflection of Kijiki that can create tokens to copy another target creature or target non-legendary creature control, and have this ETB shenanigans happen. But the good thing here though is that we have a lot of options, depending that the legendary effect would not really be a hindrance to your strategy. And also they've added here a copy of Static Prison that can also exile a target relevant non-land permanent until it leaves the battlefield. But you can also get 2 energy counters, and in your pre-combat phase you can sacrifice this unless you pay 1 energy. So the only good thing here is that you would need to play this one at certain dire situations wherein the drawback of paying the energy is not really relevant. Now for the instance, of course, we have here Lightning Bolt as the added 1 mana 3 damage effects, and 4 copies of Galvanic Discharge, which can also have this effect to deal damage equal to the energy paid to target creature or planeswalker. So you initially get 3 energy counters, and then you can pay any amount to deal that match damage to that permanent planeswalker or creature target. Now for the land, of course, we have similar lineup as you played the energy deck before. We have 4 copies of the Ether Hub as a mana fix, and also a good energy adding to your counters. We have a copy of Arena of Glory that can also this one used to have the creature haste by exerting this mana. Your mana fix in the form of fetch lands, it added Mesa, and of course Marsh Flats that can also get you white mana. We have plains in the mountain here. That's 2 plains in 1 mountain. 4 copies of Sacred Foundry and a copy of Elegant Parlor also to get some extra advantage in the form of Surveil. Now for your quick rundown of your sideboard, you can see here that we have some aligned or common sideboard against those playing non-creature spells that is cast more than once its turn. So Deafening Silence will probably prevent them from doing so. Also, Mage Bane Discard will also punish them if they would play a non-creature spell and they have equal to the number of non-creature spells they played or they cast this turn. Stalled of Eric also would have shenanigans of creatures getting into graveyards, and they would be exiled instead by this ability, and also use this one to sacrifice to exile target player's graveyard and draw you a card. And Harsh Mentor against those that activates abilities of artifact creatures on lands, and it's not a mana ability, then Harsh Mentor will deal 2 damage to that permanence controller or your opponent basically. And Kadaki again for affinity matchups that taxes all of their affinity or their artifacts unless they pay 1 at the beginning of your upkeep. We have again support with Warrior and Tear to destroy artifact or enchantments if needed, and Blood Moon again to punish those shenanigans with the tri-lands or the 5-color decks that gets have them non-basic lands turns into mountains. That's 3 copies. And last but not the least are your 2 copies of Licensors, which can also exile cards in graveyards for shenanigans of them and can also be used to attack, wherein the power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. So that's basically it for this deck. Last but not the least, we check on the curve. The curve of the deck would go with average of 1.79. So with 21 lands in this deck, you can basically function out of basically 2 mana curve and just play out your 1-drop and 2-drop and probably win from that kind of setup, since you would need the mana issues would not really be your problem here. So the color distribution is mostly red. We have 29 for red, and white is 15. We have also somewhat uneven producing for red and white, but more particularly you just need a lot of red for this one, since most of your relevant cards here would also get you to cast spot removal in partner with a red creature, for example. So this is also aligned for that kind of curve color setup. And lastly, your deck tokens. We have a Cat Warrior produced by Ajani, Copy token, of course, Goblin Shaman token, and Treasure token produced by Ragavan, and Fable of the Mirror Breaker Goblin Shaman token. So I guess that's pretty much it, guys, for this modern deck. Boros Energy, I think you've already seen some of this at least finishing in the major or maybe in this your regular weekly modern tournaments in your area. Just let me know in the comments below what would you think of this build. If you are already piloting this, just let me know so that we can have a good discussion as to what this deck would really function out, and also have some other card options from the new set Modern Horizons 3 to be used in the main deck or even for the sideboard. Again, guys, thank you for watching this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you guys on the next video.